Hello, good evening. I'm Earl Gibbs, and welcome to Speaking of Everything. My guest this evening, well, you'll say he's a stranger, but he's not a stranger. He's from St. Martin, now living in Guadeloupe, none other than Mr. Robert Romney. How you doing, sir?
Good. Well, good evening. Good evening. Thanks for having me on your show. It's a pleasure, and it's the first time I will be on a TV show in St. Martin.
Well, it's good to have
Good.
you.
Yes. Thanks a lot.
I heard about you through your son, Dr. Romney, who is a veterinarian here in St. Martin. And he told me, you got to speak to my father. He's an author. He's from St. Martin, living in Guadeloupe. So I'm happy to have you here this evening on the program. So how long you been living in Guadeloupe now?
Well, I would say I have always been living in Guadeloupe, but I was born in St. Martin, and you know that now in St. Martin there are lots of schools. On the French side, there are lots of schools, the middle schools, the high schools. But at that time, lots of St. Martiners of my generation, we had to leave to go and study in Guadeloupe or in Martinique.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I studied in Guadeloupe, I studied in Martinique. And coming back, and when I came back, the post and the job I had, you know, there was no school, in fact, where because I started as a teacher. I started as a teacher of English, and then I became an inspector of English, which means that I went to assess the different teachers of Guadeloupe and Martinique for 12 years. Then came to St. Martin as the head of the school board of St. Martin and St. Bart's in the new collectivity for 3 years, that from 2007 until 2010, where I had to leave. And which explains why I live in Guadeloupe, you know, and but I should have insisted on something very important, you know, because I was born on the Dutch side.
Oh, okay.
At St. Rose Hospital, you know. So I didn't put any, they're gonna put a slab there with your name, you know. But I was born there with one of the famous doctors at that time, was Dr. Junksy Fat. I think everybody speaks about him. So my papers are still written in Dutch. So perhaps this has given me some kind of a little click, something for the language, for languages, you know, because after studying in Guadeloupe in Martinique, I went to the University of Bordeaux in the southwest of France. That's where I was qualified and sat for exams and competition exams and so on, you know, before returning. So, but with a break, for almost 2 years in London as a French assistant in London, where I taught French in an English system, English school that taught French in a middle school, that where it is required, or it was required at that time for all teachers to go and spend at least a year in England to have a better command of the language and the culture, because language is nothing without the culture behind, you know. Studying the language and going to England and attending the different shows, the comedies, the different theaters, going to different theaters, it is different than just studying this in books. That's just a little aspect of my curriculum.
So you now make Guadeloupe your home, although you were born in St. Martin. How many children do you have?
I have 2 sons.
Okay.
I have 2 sons, one that you know. My second son is here. As you said, he's a vet. And my first son is a gastroenterologist. Gastroenterologist,
So you
which
have
means
2 doctors in the
he
family.
had two doctors. Yes, he's a specialist of the stomach, and in his specialty, he has a specialty in that he inserts gastric balloons. Well, I'm not here, in fact, to advertise. So he wouldn't accept that, for me to advertise. No, but there were articles in the papers, in the newspapers here, in the Herald, about his specialty.
Where he
And
lives?
he inserts balloons,
Uh-huh.
gastric balloons, into the obese.
Oh, okay. That's
Obese,
to help you lose weight.
To help him lose weight, and it is very, very efficient. Yes.
And he lives where?
He lives also in Guadeloupe. His practice is in Guadeloupe. His surgery is in Guadeloupe, and it happens now and then. He goes once a month, at least once a month. He goes to Anguilla, at Dr. Yu's clinic, where he operates.
Okay, that's nice. So, and so your wife is from Saint-Martin, or what?
My wife is from Guadeloupe. Perhaps that's one of the reasons. Perhaps I'm in Guadeloupe too, no? But she likes Saint Martin. She has likes, because now we have been married now for 42 years. It's a long, for so long. And no, she likes Saint Martin, and we come very often to Saint Martin because we have two wonderful grandchildren here in Saint Martin too. That's the reason why we come to see them. You see grandpa and grandma, they don't stay very far from their grandchildren, because even after 2 months, they are from 200 kilometers from us, but we have to see them now. We don't stay more than 2 months without coming to Saint Martin, when we can, of course.
You wrote 2 books.
Yes.
This is your first book, Saint Martin Talk. And tell me about this book.
Yes, Saint Martin Talk was first written about 3 years ago, but it is the result of my concern with the language spoken here in Saint Martin. When I looked around, I didn't see anything that I could use as a material, something in fact to show to the kids, to show to the students, and also to the teachers coming to Saint Martin, teachers coming from Guadeloupe, from Martinique. I wanted to set up like a program and a collection, a glossary of words. It's mostly a glossary of words and proverbs, not much grammar. I want to do something very selective, not too thick, not too boring, and very handy, So that's the reason why I wrote this. But I wanted to do this with a group of persons, with a group of Saint Martiners when I was at the head of the school board here in Saint Martin. I wanted to like set up like a think tank on the island, at least on the French side, of course, with cooperation with some students, with some scholars of the south of the sea.
Okay.
And unfortunately, I stayed only 3 years. It is not possible to do this kind of work for 3 years, and I left. I had to leave the island, But I still went on when I was in Guadeloupe. I still went on with my notes, all the notes that I had jotted down on the paper,
You have
all the words. And because, Mr. Gibbs, I must tell you that I like listening to people. I'm in love with sounds, with the musicality of the sentences, the rhythms and the intonation, different intonations. And I usually go on Saturdays. I go to the market in Marigot, Marigot Market, with the fish market and the meat market, and I listen to the people sometimes when they speak. All levels of language are there, from the biblical quotations, people quoting from the Bible, and those who, of course, the swear words, because it is more and more popular now, profane language. The 4-letter words come from the very beginning to the end, But still, I listen to the people, and like a camera eye, I will refer to a great writer that I like, John Dos Passos, an American writer who, the camera eye, who would just record, would just portray, would just picture what he sees. And this is an eye, but also an ear, I listen to the people, and like Shakespeare, I would say that the sandbox under the sandbox tree there, yeah, in the market, that market, because when they say sandbox tree, because there was a sandbox tree, yeah, and but there's a sandbox tree in the market. So the people, when they speak, for me, the people is like it's like a play, like a stage, like they on a stage. For me, I would say like Shakespeare. You know, the world is a stage.
You have in your book here, St. Martin talk, dogs among doctors. I never heard that one before.
Yes, dogs among doctors. And you see what see, so it's bilingual. In bilingual, yeah. So the proverbs, and the proverbs are here again also. And you see what is written, you get the French, right?
Yeah, I don't read French, so but it's in French also, yes.
Yeah. What is written in the French?
I don't read French. I get.
Oh yeah. So you see, this is it here. Dogs among doctors. You see, and you're not. You see, you are out of your league.
Right.
Which means, in fact, this is used very often, or was used, in fact, in the sports world. You know, you see some youngsters. In fact, you can't come and play with us. You know, we are fully experienced. You know, we are the best. So we can't play with puppies. You know.
Yeah.
You know, so that's it. You know. But there are other explanations, you know, but nothing I would say serious about this proverb in particular. But there are other proverbs you will see in this other book, but in this one also, other proverbs. The proverbs are there, in fact, to illustrate our turn of mind, this humorous turn of mind which is prevalent here in St. Martin. The first book, like the second book, is its purpose is to bring people to realize, in fact, to see, to depict. It's a portrayal.
And it's very easy reading. It
is, yes. It is, in fact, it is to show St. Martin as they are. You see, look in the mirror, you see that St. Martin. I like to joke. I like to use a lot of words. I like to coin words. The words are in the St. Martin talk that I call, I'm sorry, of course, I'm sorry to say that, I don't know if I coined this word, I call it St. Martinese. St. Martinese. Words which are used, sentences which are used, really typical of St. Martin, which are used in St. Martin. Why St. Martinese? It's just that I saw a type of book like that in Trinidad. It is called Trinibaganese, which is Trinidad and Tobago. I said, why not coin a word and say St. Martinese?
And my guest this evening is none other than Mr. Romney. Mr. Romney is an author. He's from St. Martin. He's written 2 books. First, we spoke about his first book, St. Martin Talk, and now this is second book, From St. Martin Talk to Standard English. And it's quite an interesting title. So you went from St. Martin Talk to Standard English.
Yes, yes, it is interesting, and it can be surprising to see the title to Standard English. You know, first, Mr. Gibbs, I must say that I am not there to be, let's say, like a supervisor, someone who is giving lessons about the languages and so on. You know, I just want to advise, to give some sound advice if it's possible, and thinking, having in mind the teachers, having in mind also the students, those doing research coming to St. Martin who want to go further, because you must know that some people just come here sometimes they want to do so. They want to find documents about what we have about in our history. You know, I'm not a historian, you know, because you just can't come and stand up and say, oh, I'm a historian and I haven't studied history. You see? So, but I do what I know best is languages, and I'm mostly specialized in literature, you know, and literature of I would say the Elizabethan period, which is about Shakespeare and all the comedies and the plays of that age.
It was a great period. Huh?
A great period
in literature.
Elizabethan age. Yeah. So I have a for Shakespeare and so on, and I remember, this is what I'm saying in the second book. I remember that some of the St. Martiners, the old St. Martiners,
yeah.
they would quote lots and lots of English writers,
yeah.
and the romantic poets
like John Donne,
the Wordsworth, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, in the Daffodils, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. Some will quote from Hamlet by Shakespeare, to be or not to be, you see. And this has always, in fact, had some kind of resonance in me. Say, how come with Shakespeare and so on? Those words.
Yeah.
And I've always been attracted by languages and this type of language. And when I say standard English, I think I regret perhaps not being someone of the past, but I think that our ancestors, I think they spoke, and although perhaps they didn't go to school, but they had this oral culture which was given to them.
It was powerful.
They knew lots and lots of things. I know, and I met even in Guadeloupe. I met someone, in fact, a carpenter. Quoting Kipling, Rudyard Kipling, if the famous poet. So I always said, in fact, and here there were lots of words we wouldn't use, and if I did this work, so to standard English also, I just want to say that, unfortunately, lots and lots I'm addressing, and this is very serious what I'm going to say, I'm addressing lots and lots of students and people, the job seekers sometimes when they write the job applications, the English, the way they speak, they speak, it is not correct English.
Mr. Romney, I've noticed something here. Sorry to interrupt you. You've gone from St. Martin talk to standard English, and this is a much more technical book now.
It is.
This is very simple.
Simple.
But this is very technical in the language.
Yes, it is. It is. Yes. Why? It is very true what you say. It is technical. It means that that we have to be humble. We have to accept reality. We have to face this reality in our country. For some words, like legal terms, terms in fact related to lawyers and so on, the judgment, and so, we are not familiar with those terms, with terms of the different, the right word to use, the right word, and we are not familiar with this. So most on the French side, I'm sorry to say, it will be in fact sectorial, what I'm saying, and on the French side, lots of people, they mix things, They will say, I don't know, bring me that dossier,
That's the same thing.
Same thing? Bring me that dossier. You came to me, but where's the certificate de scolarité? I need the certificate de scolarité. So those things sometimes, even if we use those words, but we have to know the words when it is, we can't go on like this. Of course, you would say that it is a bit humorous. Some people will laugh, but some people also make fun of St. Martin's when they come to Guadeloupe and Martinique and another meeting. They would say, "Oh, what kind of English do they speak?"
St. Martin English.
Yes. So I reacted. Those books, and the second book for me, it's a reaction because the teachers in Guadeloupe in the past were very harsh on St. Martiners,
Really?
Yes. They were harsh on St. Martiners, mostly when they read the text, and they would say, hey, who knows this? You don't know this word? You from St. Martin? Are you from you don't know this word? And we, for us, we had to be the first, had the best grades. We were supposed, we thought St. Martin's, we were supposed to have the best grades. to succeed, for them not to say, to laugh at us, that our English is not good, and, to see that someone
Yeah.
in Guadeloupe will have a better mark than us.
Could it be that St. Martiners were influenced by St. Martin talk, and that is so powerful, a part of our culture, the way we are as a people, that no matter what you do, it's always there in the subconscious. Even if you're a well-educated person and your English is perfect, you still sometimes have to think and control yourself from not slipping back into
That's
what you
it.
got here.
That's it.
So,
It depends on the
yeah.
different levels of
Right.
language or different people with whom you are. You and I, we know that if we have to meet as St. Martiners,
Right.
perhaps this is a kind of schizophrenia too, So we have like a double personality, like a split personality. We are capable
Yeah.
of sometimes with someone who wants to have a better command of the language, we are capable of speaking, I would say, good English, standard English, at the same time as St. Martiners, of course. But St. Martin talk, this is our legacy.
Yeah.
We have to respect it. I respect it. I don't discard it, make it sure, make it be clear. I don't discard this kind of language.
It's a part of all of us as
It is, yes. This is our patrimony.
Yeah.
This is our legacy, our heritage, and this has helped us. This has helped us. This has propelled us forward sometimes, to go further, to know what is beyond the language we spoke. What else?
Yeah.
How can we improve it? That's the reason why I'm doing it.
Time is going so fast. I'm speaking with Mr. Romney, who's author, educator from St. Martin, now living in Guadeloupe. And Mr. Romney, I got to say that I admire your work, your two books. The first one, St. Martin Talk, the second one, From St. Martin Talk to Standard English. And where can someone purchase the book if they want it?
Yes, unfortunately, I had a good start.
Uh-huh.
Yes, it was done by the House of Nihesi, and I appreciate the work, and I have to thank them for their support. I must thank them publicly. Yes, unfortunately, it is out of print.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so I must go back, perhaps ask them, in fact, if they can do me a favor to see how we can get, because lots and lots of people have asked me.
Right.
And the new book has just arrived, which means it arrived last week, not even a week yet, it at Van Dorp. You can get it at Van Dorp, which is not far from here.
Yeah, right.
Yes, Van Dorp, yeah. Yes. And just to say that I just try to convey a message. I'm not giving any lessons. I'm not telling people how they should speak. Mm-hmm. No, I want them to get me, clear, for things to be clear. I just want to encourage the people I love, and the people have helped me mostly. There's a very interesting part in this book about the different proverbs, and that will be the third book, only Proverbs illustrated.
Oh, okay.
And this book is, in fact, I did it with my heart. I did it with laughter. I laughed a lot. And whenever I wrote the Proverbs, those Proverbs were given to me, but just asking people, and it's St. Martin's work. This is St. Martin's patrimony. I haven't invented anything. I just try to piece things together.
I know you're being very modest, but it's great writing. As I said earlier, it's more technical than the book. It's very educational, and it's the kind of book that every St. Martiner should be reading.
Yes, but I will advise, at least to have or give as a gift, As a gift, it's not a book of tourism and so on,
Right.
But our heart is there. Everything is there, even some of the swear words. It is written here, words not to use. I'm telling the student the words not to use.
We out of time, Mr. Romney. I got to give you just 20 seconds in closing. Anything you want to add very quickly?
Yes. Just to thank you very much, in fact, for the work you're doing, for inviting me. And I thank the population, all those who help me, all those who support me. And I think I owe a lot to the population. And I will say, in fact, I'm not a book salesman, No, I'm not a book salesman, but I need your help. I need your feedback. I suppose you know, again, more. I don't pretend that I have put everything in this book. I have jotted down everything that is in Martineau.
Not possible.
But I'm waiting for the others, for the others in Martinez, just to send me back,
Get some feedback.
To get this feedback, this positive feedback.
All right.
Yes.
So, Mr. Romney, again, I want to thank you for being my guest this evening, and we hope we can have you back for your third book. All right.
Anyhow, thanks a lot. I hope it won't be in 3 or 4 years anymore. I hope it will be shorter.
All right. Good. Thanks a lot again.
No, I thank you a lot. Okay. Thanks a lot.
Thanks. Good. And that's it for now. I'll see you next time. Right.
Thank you very much.
Good night.
Good night.